It was a cold, rainy evening when Jake's parents left for the weekend, leaving him alone in their big, old house. At first, he enjoyed the silence, the freedom. The house creaked with every step, but that was normal, or so he thought. As night fell, the atmosphere in the house shifted. The wind howled outside, and the lights flickered for a moment before returning to normal. Jake settled on the couch to watch TV, but as he flicked through the channels, the screen froze on a static image of a shadowy figure standing at the end of a long, dark hallway. Confused, he tried to change the channel, but the remote was unresponsive. The figure on the screen didn't move, but Jake could feel a chill crawling up his spine. Suddenly, he heard a faint knock coming from upstairs. His heart raced. He was sure he was the only one in the house. Gathering his courage, Jake grabbed a flashlight and slowly made his way up the creaky staircase. The knock came again, louder this time, from the attic door. It was a place he never went, a place his parents always kept locked. But tonight, the door was slightly ajar. With trembling hands, Jake pushed the door open and shone his flashlight inside. The room was empty, except for a small, old mirror hanging on the wall. As he approached, the air grew colder. In the mirror, a shadowy figure began to form, slowly reaching out towards him from the other side of the glass. Jake turned to run, but the attic door slammed shut behind him. The figure was no longer in the mirror, it was standing right behind. Jake's breath hitched as he felt an icy presence looming over him. Slowly, he turned his head, praying it was just his imagination. But there it was, a tall, shadowy figure, its face obscured in darkness, standing only a few feet away. Its form was barely human, with elongated limbs and hollow, glowing eyes. Frozen with fear, Jake couldn't move, couldn't scream. The air around him seemed to thicken, weighing down on him like a heavy blanket. The figure raised a bony hand, pointing toward the mirror. Jake's legs felt like lead, but something compelled him to move closer. His reflection flickered in the old glass, and for a moment, he saw something standing next to him, that a young boy, pale and terrified, stared back at him from the other side of the mirror. His lips moved, whispering words Jake couldn't hear. He leaned closer, trying to understand. The boy's whisper grew louder, clearer, as if breaking through an invisible barrier. "Help me," the boy pleaded. Before Jake could react, the room plunged into complete darkness. The flashlight flickered and died, leaving him surrounded by an oppressive void. He could hear the sound of shuffling footsteps coming from all directions, closing in on him. Panicked, Jake stumbled backward, hitting the attic door. His hands fumbled for the handle, but it wouldn't budge. His heart raced as he pounded on the wood, screaming for help. Suddenly, the footsteps stopped, replaced by a low, raspy voice that seemed to echo all around him. "You shouldn't have come up here." The door behind him finally creaked open, but it wasn't an escape. Instead, it revealed a staircase descending into pitch-black nothingness, far deeper than the house should have been. Jake didn't want to go down, but the cold grip of the shadow figure behind him was forcing him toward the stairs. He tried to resist, but something unseen yanked him into the abyss. He tumbled down the stairs, feeling the icy cold closing in on him with every step. His mind screamed for this nightmare to end, but deep down, Jake knew this wasn't just a nightmare. This was real, and there was no way out. The last thing he saw before losing consciousness was the boy's face, staring down at him from the top of the stairs, mouthing the same words.